Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi welcomed US Vice President J.D. Vance, currently on India visit, at his official residence in New Delhi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi met with US Vice President J.D. Vance, accompanied by the Second Lady Usha Vance, their children and senior members of the US administration. Prime Minister fondly recalled his visit to Washington, D.C. in January and his fruitful discussions with President Trump, which laid down the roadmap for close cooperation between India and the US, leveraging the strengths of Make America Great Again and Viksit Bharat 2047. Prime Minister and Vice President Vance reviewed and positively assessed the progress in various areas of bilateral cooperation. They welcomed the significant progress in the negotiations for a mutually beneficial India-US bilateral trade agreement focused on the welfare of the people of the two countries. Likewise, they noted continued efforts towards enhancing cooperation in energy, defense, strategic technologies and other areas. The two leaders also exchanged views on various regional and global issues of mutual interest and called for dialogue and diplomacy as the way forward. Prime Minister extended his best wishes to the Vice President, Second Lady and their children for a pleasant and productive stay in India. Prime Minister conveyed his warm greetings to President Trump and said that he looked forward to his visit to India later this year. Earlier, US Vice President J.D. Vance and his wife Usha, along with their children, visited Swaminarayan Akshardham temple in New Delhi, their first stop in India, experiencing its majestic art, architecture and timeless values of faith, family and harmony. And US Vice President J.D. Vance arrived in Jaipur with his wife Usha Vance and 3 children. He will be in Jaipur till 24th of this month, and during this time he will visit many historical sites including Amer Fort and Jaipur City Palace. On his arrival at the Amer Palace, he will be accorded a traditional Rajasthani welcome. As is the tradition with the VIP visits, a Jodhpuri turban will also be tied as a welcome gesture. The Vance family will be treated to a puppet dance and folk music. Foolproof security arrangements are in place for the visit of the US Vice President. Vance will address a business summit organized at the Rajasthan International Centre on April 22nd, where he will share his views on India-US trade relations. Apart from this, he will also meet Chief Minister Bhajan Lal Sharma and Governor Haribhau Bagre. On 23rd April, J.D. Vance and family will go to Agra and visit Taj Mahal. After this, he will return to Jaipur and visit the City Palace. On April 24th, he will leave for Washington, D.C. from Jaipur. All right, my colleague Jessica Taneja is in Jaipur. She is joining me live from there. Good morning, Jessica. J.D. Vance met Prime Minister Narendra Modi last evening and is in Jaipur today. Tell us about the preparations that have been made to make his visit historic and memorable. What all has been planned?
Well, a lot has been planned, as you already pointed out, in Jaipur, including the visit to the Amer Fort and, of course, being accorded the ceremonial welcome here in Rajasthan with all the traditions in place. It's going to be interesting to see those visuals coming out later in the day, Abhishek, while we also wait for J.D. Vance's address at the Rajasthan International Centre on the India-US ties and the momentum moving forward. You saw from the readout yesterday that US Vice President J.D. Vance also met with the Prime Minister, and the whole meeting, their kids also met with the Prime Minister at his residence, and perhaps a discussion on global and mutual issues as well that took place. Apart from that, both of them also discussed look at the relationship of India and the United States, especially when it comes to the current ties, which have been moving forward with a good momentum. And this visit is also coming at a time when the terms of reference for the potential negotiations of in trade and the final draft of the bilateral trade agreement and the finality of it, which we can expect before the fall, was also put out, not the discussion or the details that took place between the Vice President and the Prime Minister, but between the two representatives of the United States and India. And this visit is also coinciding with Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in United States for talks and meetings. So a great momentum overall to the relationship between the India and the United States. Both the countries are seeing an uptick in trade, approximately $190 billion in the last financial year. And they aim to make the bilateral trade $500 billion by 2030. And that's the vision behind the entire trade deal, bilateral trade agreement that both will finalize before this year ends. And hopefully the Quad Summit, if it were to take place, before the year ends, would also see Donald Trump in India. All those details, of course, remain temporary at this point, where finalizations will be made at the end of it. But yes, with the looks of it, the relationship between the United States and India seems to continue to its momentum and would continue to enhance in the coming future.
Also, Jessica, J.D. Vance and family, they toured Akshardham temple in Delhi yesterday, visit iconic sites in Jaipur today and Agra tomorrow. But for many Indians, especially the Telugu-speaking community, you think this visit carries a deeper emotional significance, soft power that we talk about?
Well, soft power certainly, because Vice President's wife, Usha Vance, is of course of Indian origin. Her parents are from South India. So of course there is a lot of interest and a lot of linkages as well when it comes to her Indian heritage. And with the way we saw both the children, three of the children in fact, in Indian attires when they arrived yesterday in New Delhi, and of course being accorded the ceremonial customs and seem to have been taking the entire trip well, and seem to have been enjoying their meeting with the Prime Minister as well. So of course, from the looks of it, this does of course looks like it is been a tour or a trip for the family, although with the significance that it does come as representation from the Donald Trump administration. But there has been a hint or two of personalization on this trip as well, and especially since it's J.D. Vance's first visit to New Delhi after being elected, and perhaps an important one from a Vice President of the United States in the last 10 years.
All right, Jessica, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for your inputs.